It seems that we're getting a revamp of a classic 40k kit today. It seems that the Tau Empire's Kroot mercenaries are getting a facelift. Hello and welcome back to Warspets Tactics, where today we're talking about this shiny new Kroot mercenaries squad, one that's going to be coming out as a kill team set in this new Space Hulk expansion. I'll be honest, this very much wasn't the kill team that I was expecting them to reveal. Certainly not saying that we couldn't have a Kroot warband investigating and poking around a Space Hulk, but I was suspecting that they'd go down the more usual archetype of it, some sort of Imperial Loyalist forces running into something horrible in the bowels of it, something like Genestealers for example, as opposed to pitting two different looting forces fighting over it. In any case, it's really good news if you like the cannibalistic bird people. The Kroot mercenaries Hound, Shaper and Rider all date back a really long time, and they were certainly up there on the list of kits that Games Workshop should have probably got round to updating. So anyway, this Kroot kill team is going to be coming in the next kill team box. It's the one that's set on the Space Hulk and is called Into the Dark. They're going to be facing off against some Imperial Navy breachers that I thought were worth talking about in their own video, as I feel that they're pretty interesting too. Though I feel that the Kroot are probably the biggest issue and the most newsworthy thing out of the release. Kill team kits usually have around about 10 and maybe some supporting models in them. I suspect that when they go on sale, they'll probably be the same £35, $60 or €45 that some of the previous kill teams were. And I think it is quite good news for the Kroot, as it will be quite an extensive kit with loads of kill team options, weapon upgrades, and different pose specialists. It doesn't look like it's just going to be a slightly half-assed monopose squad. They're going to be getting a flexible unit with some interesting options, like this great big bow. The kill team name for the unit is going to be called the Farstalker Kin Band. When they release these kill team releases, they often have their own unique name for the actual kill team to differentiate it from just standard units of 40k things. I think there's at least a reasonable chance that they issue a new set of 40k rules for the Tau Codex to represent the different war gear options that they can take. I guess we'll see. They've been a little bit hit and miss with representing all of the kill team things on 40k rules until new codexes come out. Models wise, it appears that they've chosen to just show off 4 models out of the squad. Kind of annoying to be honest, seeing as there's going to be something like 10 or 11 models in the squad, so I don't imagine that showing off the rest will be all that much big news after we've seen the original ones. We've basically got 4 good images of the unit, and then a few slightly more blurry shots of some other ones, fighting off against the Imperial Navy Voidsman in a teaser trailer. First up, we've got this guy who looks like the squad leader. They didn't actually explicitly say it in the video or the stream as best I could tell, but I'm pretty sure that he's basically your new Shaper now. If you put him next to the current Kroot Shaper with the pulse rifle, it's almost exactly the same model, just redone. He's got the same savage looking hooked blade, the same pulse rifle with the material strung around it, and a very similar leathery looking face mask. A very nice model and a worthy update to be honest. A lot of these older resin or metal leader units do have a fair bit of character, but really are showing their age a bit compared with newer plastics. I feel like this guy's going to be a popular pickup. I think the main addition that he's got on him is a new cloak compared with the old one. Looks quite good to denote him as a bit more of a leader. Next up, I think it's quite fun that they included a Kroot Hound in the set. We don't know how many hounds there's going to be. My hope would be that there might be enough to field a small unit of them, but that would be an extra 4 models, and I'm not sure how realistic that is. With the other kill teams, they've often had smaller supporting models. I wouldn't be too surprised if this is just a 1 model upgrade in the squad, maybe not too dissimilar from the Orc Bomb Squig in the Commandos. In any case, it's fun when 40k armies bring their pets along. He doesn't really seem to have changed too much from his previous versions. A spinally muscly dog boy with some nice beak jaws going on. I think maybe he looks a little bit more heavily muscled and threatening than the previous version, all ready to spring into action at the whim of his Kroot masters. I did notice a few people mentioning that it's kind of funny that the Kroot mercenaries get a dog, while the Imperial Navy side gets that robotic cat that they had previewed. The cat standing for Cyber Altered Task Unit. In any case, the option of having a hound in the unit is a fun little addition. If he's coming in the box set, I think there's at least a reasonable chance that you might gain the option back to include hounds in Kroot Carnivore squads as you could in the past. Next up, and perhaps one of the most interesting models out of the set, is this guy with what appears to be a harpoon bow type thing. Kind of fun as it looks like it's a Kroot version of a special weapon. Not something that they're able to get in their Carnivore squads in the moment, and it does look very on theme for them, maybe a sniper type weapon if it was given 40k rules perhaps. Again, hopefully to represent cool things like this in a Carnivore squad, they might update the Kroot datasheet. perhaps one of their digital downloads or something like that. Finally, we've got a slightly more standard looking mercenary armed with a normal Kroot rifle. Again, a lot of these also seem to have sidearm pistols as well, not something that they have in 40k at the moment. The Kroot rifle does seem to be fairly similar to the standard ones, being able to be used both as a gun and a Kroot fighting stave as well. Kind of a traditional throwback to their time before guns. Compared with the old mercenaries, I think it really is a nice step up, a lot more crisp details, and a nice looking kit all in all. The current Kroot mercenary kit isn't too bad, and I think it has stood the test of time, but it is a very old one now, the details are a bit soft, and it is very apparent just how far model making has come since they came out. As I mentioned, they didn't really show off the entire unit. My guess would be that they're going to drop the rest of them on a Warhammer community update at some point to come. They did mention a few other things, like a Kroot Pistolier on the stream. They do seem to be adding quite a lot of gunslingers into 40k these days. I guess you could go for a duel with the Kelmorph and Hexmark Destroyer. And they did have a few other Kroot specialists flash past in their quick animated trailer. I'm wondering if this one that we can see on the right might be something like a new Kroot Flamer or something like that. It doesn't look like a standard rifle as best I can tell. Otherwise, it looks like they've got a dedicated combat specialist as well. Someone who's carrying a far heavier gun than a standard Kroot rifle, perhaps something the equivalent of a light machine gun maybe. So it does look like they're going to have some pretty significant options that aren't just the standard Kroot rifle. We know there's going to be at least 10 models in the Kill Team set. My guess is that they'll be able to be fielded as a fairly standard Kroot Carnivore squad if you want to, and also have all manner of weird, wonderful and characterful options to upgrade them. Currently in 40k, Kroot aren't too bad a unit, 6-point infantry, and I'd argue get a fair amount for that investment, more so than many other infantry units that kind of cost. Within the Tau Codex they are OBSEC troops and can be used as screening quite nicely as they get a pre-game move from ambushing predators. What's more, if you just want really cheap sacrificial units to screen out the enemy, do nuisance charges, or die on objectives, Kroot hands are pretty nice for that. They move very fast and they come in tiny units of just 24 points. A standard Kroot Carnivore basically attacks with a bolter-like profile, 24-inch rapid-fire gun that hits on 4s, and will get 2 attacks at strength 4, AP-1 in melee, hitting on 3s, so they are very good at bullying light infantry, even if they don't take too much of a punch with toughness 3 and a 6-op save. They're not going to do massive amounts against anything with decent armor though, or decent toughness. In general, they want to be scouting up early in the game, stick to cover, and maybe stick to combating enemy light infantry if they can with 1 wound, while their allied Tau forces get to work on the bigger, heftier targets. You can theoretically run some very Kroot heavy lists with shapers in the HQ slots. Some armies might struggle to deal with the sheer amount of bodies that you can put on the table if you've put a mind to it. Though in general I would say that they probably tend to lack the damage to be truly competitive, and you might surprise certain armies, particularly ones that they can damage well. If you wanted to do so, I guess it'd probably be the Delith Sept, as that allows them to get Montkar and Cao Yon. Advancing Kroot rapid firing is nice, so is the damage buff. In any case, after this Kroot kit comes out, I wouldn't be surprised if there's a few more Tau players running around with some fancy looking new squads. So anyway, let me know what you think of the new unit down in the comments below. Overall, I think they've done a pretty good job with these new sculpts that they've shown us, though obviously it will be nice when we actually get to see the unit in full. Kind of a nice surprise for Tau players anyway. I certainly wouldn't have guessed Kroot to be coming out in a Space Hulk set. If you've enjoyed the video, feel free to subscribe to Auspex Tactics, where I'll certainly cover any other news of the new models when we get them, and I'll hope to cover the Imperial Navy team as well, sometime when I get a chance to get that video out. I do tend to post 40k updates just about every day, so feel free to subscribe to Auspex Tactics if you'd like to keep up with news and releases. Finally, if you have been enjoying the channel quite a bit, I would just like to mention that Auspex Tactics does have a Patreon page, and you can find that down in the video description if you're interested. Channel patrons do get a fair few advantages, seeing certain videos early, regular votes to see what sort of things happen next on the channel, and automatic entry into the regular prize giveaways with the chance to win some big model kits each month. If any of that sounds good to you, or you'd just like to help support, the link is down in the video description. In any case, a massive thank you for listening, and I'll hope to see you guys next time.